What's up, Renegade Nation? Before we begin the video, I'd like to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters: Grim X Law 22, Dracoda 185, Joseku, Philip Caudill, Salosi, Mighty Snake, Brian Imka Njoku, John Doe, Terry, Serena Avalar, and Astro CP. Thank you very much for your support, and if you want to support us on Patreon, feel free to check the link out below in the description to find out more. Thanks again.
The Alien franchise has a spotty history, let's say.
Yeah.
The first Alien film, considered by many to be groundbreaking in terms of its... Oh, yeah, right there. I mean, that's a 3D poster that Nick brought over.
Yeah. I yoinked at that from a convention at one point.
Yeah. And also...
Not yoinked as in stole. I paid for it. But
yeah.
I was
but
like,
got it at a good price.
Oh, mine, take money.
Yeah, got it at a good price, didn't
Yeah.
Okay.
It was I think, $20 or something, $25.
Nice.
So.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
So
and I was like, I've never seen that before. That's awesome. I need that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, the first Alien film came out, and it blew the doors off of a lot of people. You know, it looked at space as, this unforgiving play. I mean, they already had that with 2001: A Space Odyssey, but that was a machine versus man versus a creature, a nearly unkillable, perfect hunting machine of a creature.
Before that, you had like War of the Worlds, where it was like, an alien invasion coming on to like, Earth and stuff, and that was kind of horrific to an extent. Because that's like, everybody's helpless in that situation almost.
Yes.
But then you had a lot of little green men alien theories and stuff, and I don't think anybody had ever thought about the idea of an alien just being like some sort of like apex predator type thing.
Yeah. Especially one that was that efficient at killing.
And it was like it was creepy because it was stealthy, and people were in closed quarters in like a sci-fi environment, which was very amazingly done for the time and very convincing. And it was just, even though you're never going to be in a situation like that most likely in your entire life, it still somehow managed to twinge the terror part of your brain,
Yeah.
Just like that's freaking creepy.
It makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, there's a lot of discomfort that comes with the first Alien film. For instance,
and the good kind of discomfort.
No. The good kind of discomfort that challenges your senses and makes you, and does things that are unexpected. For instance, Ridley Scott kept the cast in the dark as to what was going to happen with John Hurt's character, and they weren't expecting the reaction that you saw at the table when the chest bursting thing first happened, when the thing popped, when the thing, like the blood spurted out of his chest. They didn't tell the cast that was going to happen. Instead, they just Ridley pretty much just told John Hurt, be like, okay, we've got the squib on you, act like nothing's wrong, go through the scene, because the scene was something completely different. And then they thought John Hurt was actually choking on something, and then all of a sudden they did the squib in his chest go off, and everyone just was just like, whoa, oh, like
I still always hear that, oh God, in my head. Like,
no, that's after it's burst, but the screams that you hear are legitimate from the cast, because they didn't know what the hell was happening. And then
I think that's a really good horror movie technique, is to not entirely inform all of your actors about all of the stuff, so you get more legit reactions from people when stuff goes down they don't expect.
Yeah. And it was beautiful to watch. And then not only that, but
it's like how they kept most of the kids from the new It, like from seeing crap, I forgot his name.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård in his outfit and makeup, until they were actually introduced to him in the actual scenes,
because they wanted him to be more terrified.
Yeah.
And yeah, it worked. I mean, it worked really well. And this here, I mean, this is another example of a great franchise that went bad because not to say and this is the one where everyone started to realize something was wrong with the Alien franchise. It's almost as though once they got past Alien 2, they tried to direct it in a way to where it could be more of a franchise instead of it being a vehicle for creative directors to come in and add their own spin to it. For instance, Ridley Scott did the first film and pretty much reinvented sci-fi, like deep space horror. And then you had James Cameron come in and completely redefine like action horror, like horror action. I mean, because these things were still intimidating, even though the Space Marines...
Even though you had a bunch of badasses, like, the badasses were still getting wrecked.
Yeah, they were shitting themselves because it was a situation they had no idea what they were going up against.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was... then we arrive here at this. 6 years later, and 1992 rolled around, and
they kind of fudged the bucket a little bit.
Not only did they fudge the bucket...
Well, to be fair, after going back and giving it another chance, Resurrection... the movie after this wasn't as bad as I originally thought it was.
It was okay. It had redeeming qualities.
Yeah,
Number one,
then they've made a lot of other missteps with the series since then. Obviously, Alien Isolation was a really, really good addition.
Yes, Alien Isolation I actually consider it
other
canon.
than that, like all of the video games regarding Alien have been pretty, and then one really, really bad one.
Well, and then of course you got the Alien versus Predator games.
And then you got Prometheus, which I was actually pretty okay with. Like, there was a lot of the fan base that hated it, but I was kind of like, this is actually more interesting than I thought it would be.
I was okay with it.
Not to mention, like, the fucking C-section scene.
Oh, that's one of
sick.
those. Yeah, that's one of those scenes that Ridley Scott wanted. In that he wanted
that was like a scene that I was
people's skin crawl.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see something after all of the horror films and stuff that I watched that actually made me be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
like, that was intense.
It was. It was a very well filmed scene.
And then he went and just entirely fucked the entire lore with Alien Covenant, and I just like to pretend that doesn't exist. So
as do a lot of people, and. The first misstep in the Alien franchise was Alien 3, and a lot of people have a lot of theories as to how it happened. Was it the producers? Was it the studio? I know damn well whose fault it wasn't. The director, David Fincher, who... he's one of my favorite directors of all time. I can't state that enough. David Fincher is a great, 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 great director. If you want evidence of this, go watch the movie Seven, go watch The Game, go watch Social Network, go watch Gone Girl, go watch Mindhunters on Netflix.
The Social Network is amazing.
Yes. And
like Seven is too, obviously, but like Social Network was something where I was like, this is a concept that I don't see working that well as a movie, and then I was proven completely wrong.
Yeah, it worked. Not only did it work, it is considered by many to be one of the best, like, cinematic films ever created, and I'd have to agree. Cinematically, the film is beautiful, and for me, to have David Fincher's name, this be his first major Hollywood film. When Fincher got involved, they didn't have a finished script. When Fincher got involved, the producers did not know what they wanted to do with the overall story. He was brought in.
We might be saying stuff that Critic's actually going to tell us.
Yeah. but the thing I want to emphasize with David Fincher is that this was his first big exposure to filmmaking, and after this, he went back to making music videos, and he still has a sour taste in his mouth from 20th Century Fox. That's why he's pretty much. I don't think he's worked with them since, and. Why would he? Because look what happened.
Well, because, I mean, not everybody gets a second chance to come back if their first movie kind of bombs. So.
Yeah, especially when it's a known franchise like the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
And thus, everyone's very quick to pull a Hoover and just say, it's his fault. It's David Fincher's fault. He directed the film. It's his fault the movie's terrible. Yeah, you're saying that without having any know-how of what happened behind the scenes. I watched the entire documentary of the behind-the-scenes with Alien 3, and just hearing Fincher talk about, on set just like be absolutely just exhausted and just like totally befuddled by how inept the producers were with that film. It's actually heartbreaking because he wanted to do great things.
Yeah.
Especially because he's a fan of the Alien franchise. But they wouldn't let him. Anyway, we got the Nostalgia Critics review of Alien 3 queued up here. Oh God, let's see what happens. This is I know this is gonna hurt me, but I'm willing to go through with it. Here we go.
It's gonna hurt me too.
This episode brought to you by Stamps.com. Why go to the store to get stamps when you can have them printed right at home for your convenience? So you have an Alien sequel for me, you handsome devil? I certainly do, you beautiful bastard. Those last two sure made us a ton of money. Well, with such ingeniously simplistic titles, it's hard for someone not to see them. Agreed, with the first one being so creepily blunt and vague. Yeah. And the sequel just adding one letter to the title, instantly making it more terrifying. Exactly, because we saw what one could do, imagine what another, if not many others could do. So, what brilliant title do you have for this one? Alien 3. Ha ha ha! No, really, what is it? Alien 3. That wasn't a joke, then. Oh, sir, we'll make the 3 very small and in the corner of the title. Oh, so we're upping the ante by multiplying the army of aliens in the last film by 3? Actually, there's just one. Won't that be a phenomenal letdown coming off the last film? Well, this will be a kind of alien they've never seen before. Ah, like a queen alien but bigger? Like a dog. Excuse me? I feel like the people really want to see the alien as a dog. Well, I guess we've never seen the alien come out of another species. How is he different? He walks on all 4s. And I'm finished. Wow. So Ripley crash lands on this planet as kind of a religious cult prison. Oh, what's their story? Unclear. Wow. And the queen from the last movie let 2 eggs on her ship. Wasn't the tube thing that allowed her to lay eggs ripped off? I don't know. Fair enough. So the face huggers try breaking into the pod of Ripley and her friends. Oh yeah, people really grew an emotional attachment to those characters. It'll be great to see them again. I killed them all. What? I killed them all. Bishop? I killed them all. Newt? I killed them all. Michael Biehn? Well, he dies in everything anyway. Well, that's true, but wow! Okay, I do it in a very tasteful way. Do tell. Well, we see Newt frozen in fear with a look of terror on her face. Sweet Mary. And the others will be mangled into gooey shards of flesh. Well, at least we'll get that painful moment over with quickly. Then they rip Newt open. Oh god. Yep, and Ripley watches to make sure there's no alien inside her. Isn't there a scanning device they use later that can just show you if there's an alien inside? Knock knock. Who's there? My back. It wants you to get off of it. Fair enough. So the alien kills off a bunch of forgettable characters who mostly look the same. Forgettable characters are tight, but they pour a bunch of hot lead on him to finally kill him off. Why didn't they just shoot him? Seemed to work in the other movies. Because they have no guns. A prison has no guns. Well, remember, it's a religious cult, so that somehow makes it safer. That's what I'm going with, yes. Wow. But then they discover Ripley has an alien inside her too. Oh no.
I think he just had a
he had a bit of a seizure there.
Not only did he have a seizure there, I think it's like that. It's like they're typing in Microsoft Mic and they just held down the W and the W key got stuck for too long.
Yeah.
And it's like,
guns. A prison has no guns. Well, remember, it's a religious cult, so that somehow makes it safer. That's what I'm going with, yes.
oh shit.
Wow. But then they discover Ripley has an alien inside her too. Oh no. Oh yes. They're gonna have to think super creatively about how to get it out of her. Actually, it'll be incredibly simple. Hardly an obstacle to overcome. Proceed. She just kills herself. That's it, she just kills herself. Well, Terminator 2 did recently, and that was a big hit, so I'm gonna do exactly that. Doesn't this make the previous movies completely pointless, though? Well, where the other 2 films were about survival, this one's about how everything sucks and screws you over in the end. Like what we're clearly doing to the audience. Yeah. Sounds like a winner. You know, this conversation sounds eerily similar to those pitch meetings they do on Screen Rant. Agreed. Afraid we're ripping them off? No, I think it's an homage if we just acknowledge we're ripping them off. We'll just put a link here. Ish. Those videos are pretty fun. I'm insanely jealous of Ryan George's writing. So anyway, it sounds like we're at least bringing the Alien movies to a close. Oh yeah, killing off the main character mixed with the reactions we'll get from this. It'd be insane to keep these films going.
oh.
That was one of probably my favorite intros he's done so far.
It's a good one.
That was awesome.
With Jim and Rob, okay. Oh, Santa Christ.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to. Alien changed the way we look at sci-fi horror.
This is true.
While there were certainly mature sci-fi horror films before, they often had kind of a corny vibe, and most of them, not unfoundedly so, focused more on ideas rather than the monster. The ones that focused on the monster were usually over-the-top B-movies.
You like
Yeah.
No! Alien both
Yeah,
focused
that
on the
shitty
monster and didn't focus on it, keeping it in the shadows and having the way it procreates be as terrifying as the monster itself. It was slow, patient, dripping with atmosphere, and above all, scary. Aliens was more than a worthy follow-up. Though having more of an action-themed focus, it was still intense, gory, scary as hell, and upping the nightmares with not just more than one alien, but an alien queen. Not only giving us a ton more of these monsters, but also one of the most kick-ass sequels ever made.
Yes.
Then they made what everybody declared the worst of the Alien movies at the time, Alien 3.
Yeah.
God, how blissfully ignorant we were.
Right?
Alien 3 was by far the biggest risk the Alien movies had ever taken. Yeah, I know the others are worse and make even bigger screw-ups, but following the heels of not only one of the best sci-fi horror films ever made, but also one of the best sequels ever made, this movie did not want to play it safe. On the one hand, I kind of respect that, trying not to get old and stale on the same formula. What I don't respect is somehow it still got old and stale on the same formula! How is that possible when you make so many unconventional moves? Honestly, this isn't surprising as the movie was in development hell for a long time. The original sequel, believe it or not, focused more on Michael Biehn as Hicks rather than Weaver as Ripley, and was going to be shot as 2 movies back to back. But the studio wasn't liking the script that had the simple sum up of the Weyland Corporation facing off with a military aggressive culture of humans whose rigid socialist ideology has caused them to separate from Earth society. Yeah, put that on a poster! The next try at the script involved the aliens coming to Earth and everyday people rising up to stop them, escaping a domesticated biodome city. The story and characters seemed dry though and failed to grab most people who read it. The next involved being trapped on a monastery satellite with monks.
Yeah.
One after that involved being trapped on a prison planet. Unable to choose and with time running out, they just decided, do them both. As well as change one big element back to form. Ripley had to be the focus. As the Fox president at the time pointed out, not only was she the face associated with Alien, but she was one of the few female action stars everyone could get behind. Nowadays there's a lot more, but back then, this was kind of a rare and honestly profitable selling point. Weaver agreed, but only under one condition. Ripley had to die. She actually had no problem being a cameo in the other versions of the script, as she felt the character would hold back where the Alien story could go. Thus, they agreed that Ripley would be axed off so that new territory could be explored. Super work. The story now was heavily symbolic, with the monks thinking that the alien was the devil, having them betray Ripley thinking she's the cause of all their misery, and Ripley sacrificing herself to save them all from evil. Sound familiar? Yeah, who hasn't read Siddhartha? An interesting idea, but being out of time and bleeding money, they started filming without a finished script and got newcomer David Fincher to begin directing. With all these different ideas that nobody was satisfied with, can we really be surprised we got an Alien sequel nobody was satisfied with? Well, let's take a look and see what the damage is. This is, I think everyone would agree, the unfinished Alien 3.
Yes.
You know a film's in trouble when even the Fox logo seems confused about what it's supposed to be. It's almost as if it realized it was in Alien 3 and was like,
Oh, hell no, I'm getting out of this shit.
The opening honestly sets the uneven feel of the entire movie. As we see an alien egg on board Ripley's ship trying to break open the cryogenic pod. This is going to be the last time we see many of these major players from the last film alive. But it seems more interested in showing who the costume designers were than what happens to the people you spend a whole movie worrying about.
Stasis interrupted.
Oh no, the alien's honor! Oh, good to know who designed the alien effects. Can you maybe cut back to the people I'm invested in? Oh my god, what's happening to her? Oh, editing, cool, great. Can I see how you're gonna rip my heart out, please? Jesus Christ, it's on fire!
Well, I just told you who's responsible for that.
Photography is! If you came into suspense in
Terry
your
Rollins.
minutes, what chance does the rest
Way
of
to
the
go.
movie have? No, please, don't you want to say who did catering? Who shaved Weaver's head? Who will be apologizing for Ridley Scott prequels?
Ugh.
Gotta love that Apple II technology.
Of the future!
Why do I suddenly think the
retro
alien
tech.
will make everyone die of dysentery? The escape pod is discovered by a group of men, as well as a fake-out. Mask! As we get arguably the most audience-pissing-off moment in the Alien movies, again for a while.
Yeah.
All the characters who survived the last film, dead. Now, on the one hand, that kind of takes balls to do. I mean, this is still horror, a genre where you can kill off main characters by the end or even by the halfway point. And characters from previous films have died in sequels before, and it didn't seem particularly out of place. Yet, somehow this one does. I think a big part of that is not only did the Alien films elevate sci-fi monster movies, but it also elevated relationships in sci-fi monster movies.
This is true.
If the main lead in Psycho dies, she's kind of a crook anyway. If the main lead in Nightmare on Elm Street dies, she was honestly still a basic disposable teen. These are surprising deaths, but they still fit the tone and story they're telling. This doesn't. The almost family relationship that was being developed between Ripley, Newt, and Hicks had a lot of charm, yet still gritty realism. It's filmed so that we don't want to see these characters die, unlike a lot of other sci-fi horror films where you're just waiting for the victims to be picked off. Alien and Aliens were about hope of survival, even when it looks like there's none. Now, not only do we start off with a complete opposite idea, focusing more on a nihilistic approach, but it's done out of nowhere. We don't even get a goodbye scene. They're just dead. Christ, it was done during the credits! How would you like it if you found out you played a character in which a whole movie is based on you surviving, and your death isn't as important as the producer credit? I'd be pissed!
My show now, bitches.
Keeping with the movies, the alien wakes up and dies by the alien later, guns a-blazing. Or maybe there was a malfunction in Newt's pod causing her to age, so you can still use the original actress, and for some reason you do need to kill her off, have her sacrifice herself to the alien to save Ripley, maybe inspiring Ripley to sacrifice herself later. You see how these choices are dark, but they still stay true to the tone the Alien movies created?
Yes.
That's what was needed here. It's not that they died, it's that it impacted nothing, insulting everything the previous films were trying to do. But hell with that, we need amazing writing that utilizes the laziest exposition line ever. That's right, as you know.
Here are the facts. As some of you know...
Wait, only a half explosion on that one. He did say as some of you know, which leaves a little wiggle room for horseshit.
The survivor is a woman.
So the setup is confusing, to say the least. Apparently this is a prison, but it's also a heavily religious prison, where they're celibate, there's no weapons, and the prisoners and guards see absolutely no problem with this.
This is a maximum security prison, and you have no weapons.
We're on the honor system.
Yeah, that was said as a legitimate line in an Alien movie. An entire prison is on the honor system.
The honor system worked really well for them not committing crimes to start with, so why not in prison?
The honor system! It's why you're in prison! Do they really think this is how jails in the future are going to work? Now, Harry, I want you to be kind to your new cellmate and don't kill him like you've killed dozens of people in the past.
Okay.
You killed him, didn't you?
I did.
Well, here is a beautiful woman to take his place. Do not have relations with her. You had relations with this woman, didn't you?
I did.
Well, feel free to roam around the prison, just don't do anything destructive. You did all those things I said, didn't you?
I did.
This prison sucks.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So Ripley is woken up by a doctor named Clemens, played by Charles Dance.
The doctor?
My name is Clemens.
When you're on my watch, it's Clement time. Been working on that one for a while. We're very bored here.
What's that?
Just a little cocktail of my own mix.
You know, maybe one of the reasons this world is so difficult to understand is everybody mumble whispers.
Better, I'll give you some clippers and return to a private.
Here.
Fury 161.
What?
Yeah. I had that problem with it as well.
Yeah.
What?
Whoever did the sound editing for this okay. Yeah, pretty much her. Okay.
That's why you kind of have to watch it with subtitles.
This film hurts. This film, the fact that not only did they get David Fincher, not only did they get Sigourney Weaver, not only did they get Charles Dance, a.k.a. Tywin Lannister, not only did they get Charles Dutton, not only did they get Pete Postlethwaite, not only did they get Holt McAnally from fucking, Tench from fucking Mindhunters.
I don't understand how you remember all these fucking names.
Not only do they get all of them, but they fuck it up in such a royal way. Actually, I think Mark Strong is in this too. I think he's actually one of the, Actually, I hope they include the scene in it. If they do, then I'll make a comment on it whenever it happens, but this hurts to watch because of how bad they fucked this film up.
And I told Dom too because they've moved my desk 4 times.
Hello, Milton. Milton Wadhams.
If they move my desk again, I'll have to set the building on fire.
Yeah.
Christ, can you give us some sound?
Oh Christ, too much.
What?
What?
So yeah, that's the setting of the movie. Pretty simple, huh? One of the men, though, notices something attacked his dog.
Oh, that's right.
What kind of animal would do this to a dog?
Poor Puppo.
That's a weird
Bear,
read.
lion, alligator. Most animals would do that to a dog. Ripley insists on seeing Newt's body when she notices acid blood on her ship.
Newt.
I don't know what's going on, but you should really get her away from that corpse.
Hi, I'm Newt. I'm still alive, and you saved me, Ripley.
Get her away! Jesus Christ! We'll certainly have to get through, but at least the worst is behind us.
You have to see inside of her.
Sweet whipped creamy Jesus.
Jesus.
So, Newt's open, everybody. Aren't you glad you didn't stop at the second one? Look at all you would have missed, you psycho!
It's turned out all right. There's no sign of contagion in the body.
Good.
So, now that we've lost everybody watching, they decide to toss the bodies into the fire while the alien inside the dog starts to give birth.
This is the end, my alien, the end.
Why the innocent punished? Why the sacrifice? Why the pain?
Mr. Dutton, you're going off script. No, I want answers for this damn movie. Why the sacrifice? Why the pain? So you know, as goes, the alien bursts out like a little dildo with teeth, and over time grows big, or he's already the size of the animal he came out of.
That was bullshit.
Dog aliens do that. And faster, seeing how Ripley was infected before the dog was. And they showed it usually takes about a day to burst, but his jumped out beforehand, and hers still takes... Oh, how long did they say it would take the rescue to arrive?
Hopefully they will be here inside of a week.
And when rescue does arrive, that's when the alien comes out. Did some of these eggs miss school when the birthing process was being taught? Ripley shaves her head, and at the very least you might be thinking, though it's not better, at least this alien movie is a little different. Different location, different characters, even different hairstyle. Well, it quickly goes back to not just the alien formula we've seen before, but just the monster formula we've seen before. Ripley, once again, is the odd one out. In the first one, she's the stick in the mud, in the second, she's the crazy lady, and in this one, she's the woman in an all-male prison. Guess she has to prove herself once more.
You see, we've got a good place to wait here. And until now, no temptation.
Again, not to bring back old wounds, but how cool would it be if Newt was there? Again, you could say the pod was broken, so she's older, but she's been asleep through the aging process. So not only does she learn from Ripley how to grow up, but Ripley has somebody to talk to and maybe pass the alien ass-kicking torch to if something happened to her. Also, a kid is trapped in a prison. That ups the tension so much more.
Yes.
It's such a missed opportunity to do something different while still keeping true to the alien spirit.
God.
Ripley's just an outcast again, and instead of a person we got to know getting killed off first like in the other movies, it's just some asshole we've never seen like in every other film. Oh no, not some asshole!
Right?
Prepare to meet your biggest fan. I'll be here all day. I'll kill you all.
Damn.
That did look cool, though.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that,
how the religion seems to be taken so...
A little cheesy with the body literally exploding. Now, that
It's not how it would actually work.
No, the guy would get chopped up, maybe get hacked up a little bit, but that was a ridiculous, like, blood splatter explosion, but still I approve.
Well, seriously, by the prisoners, it probably
If I can
makes
watch
sense to
Hellraiser
really
and be
dive into
entertained,
how
that
it
I
works.
can let that pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Some sort of apocalyptic millenarian Christian fundamentalist.
Hope you enjoyed that. The world building in this is about as steady as an elephant on a beach ball. Except if he fell, he wouldn't go out with a roar, he'd go out with a whisper. What?
Again,
Hey,
back
my
to the
practically
whisper.
adopted daughter just died. Want a bone?
I really appreciate your affection.
Well, thank God this isn't a generic bad horror film, or else they'd both be marked for death. Oh, wait.
We've had an accident. One of the prisoners has been diced.
I have to go.
Oh, like all men. Wham, bam, thank you, prisoner who's been diced.
Who was it? Murphy.
How do you know?
That's his boot.
I know all prisoners' boots. Don't judge. I'm trying to get help. Ripley fears the worst as she investigates her ship, while Clemens has a talk with the superintendent. I hear they're having steamed hams.
How would you like me to explain your sordid history to your newfound friend? Now sit the hell down.
Here, have a cup of hot Murphy. It's made with fresh eye of newt. Ripley then gets the idea to go looking for what's left of Bishop. Raise your hand if you know this movie's gonna bomb. Whoa, the Alita sequel does not look promising. Hey, what's the downside of having prisoners roam free again? I know I want rock music playing while horrific gangbang is about to happen.
Nah, that ain't
Prisoners made
okay.
villains
Nah, Doug. You misspoke there. Gangbang is when all parties are pretty much approved. Nah, this is like a gang prison rape. Nah, yeah, sorry. That little picadillo there just had to spout out
Thanks,
about
sir,
that.
as Ripley gets at least one good punch in.
He probably just didn't want to
It
use
was
that
several feet away,
word.
but it was still a good
Probably.
punch. Hey, look, 3 guys
Could
alone.
have said
who we
prison
all
assault, prison assault or something like that, but I don't know.
also don't know. I'm sure they'll be fine.
What the hell is going on with the candles?
Must be the wind from one of the van shafts.
Must be the wind from one of the van shafts.
Hello?
Old man
Hi,
Wind.
Wind. I don't know for sure, but I might finally have a role for you.
Oh, thank goodness. Do you know how many times in a movie they're all like, it's the wind, it's the wind.
Yeah.
But it never really is the wind, is it? It's always some big ugly monster that's too stupid to notice.
Well, this might finally be your big break, buddy.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank the Lord above. Oh, there's finally a job for me.
Oh, wait. No,
Never
no,
mind.
sorry, it's a monster.
No. This is my time to shine. The wind will have its day.
Sorry, buddy.
Damn it. Poor Wind.
I guess it's just you and me again, Area 51 weather balloon.
No one ever believes it's me.
The alien Gallagher's their heads as Ripley figures out how to hotwire Bishop.
Ripley.
This isn't Silicon Heaven. I have to admit, the effect on Bishop is pretty damn impressive, even by today. It really took me a while to figure out this was an animatronic and not a person. And even when you do figure it out, it kind of makes sense. It's a broken robot. It would move like an animatronic. But the downside is everything he says we already know. So the scene is mostly pointless.
Why were our cryotubes ejected?
Fire in cryogenic compartment.
Yeah, I know.
What started the fire, Bishop?
In the subfloor.
I know.
Was there an alien on board?
Yes.
I know.
Did it come with us in the evening?
It was with us all the way.
I know. I got it. I got the concept. She does figure out that the Wayland industry is aware and they're probably coming for it. Here's a great edit. It's the, did I get a shot of the lens cap? Oh, who cares? We advent calendar Newt's body. Everyone's gonna hate us anyway, edit.
Isn't there any way off of this place?
No. They are sending somebody to pick you up quite soon. I know.
What? They're just now telling her this? Oh yeah, you're stuck in a planet where a bunch of guys tried to force themselves on you. Oh, by the way, you didn't want to know if there was a way out of here, did ya? Well, I was gonna wait and tell you until after you left, but... And because this film likes to kill the only likable people in the series... At least let me die on the shitter being crossbowed by a dwarf. It's more dignified.
It's cool, baby. Just getting this shot for the trailer. And we're good. Let me know how Joss Whedon makes the next one even worse.
Ripley tries to warn everyone, but they find out themselves okay.
Oh, this is the scene I'm talking about.
Fuck!
Yeah. That right there. That guy's line right there. It's like you see something absolutely shot. That's for instance, remember those clowns that just like started appearing out of the forest and everything? You see it cross across the road, and all of a sudden you're just like,
fuck.
I do really like the way he says "fuck" there.
Fuck.
Got themselves okay.
It's not necessarily a good delivery, but at the same time, it's a good delivery.
Yeah, it's funny. It's dry humor.
Yeah.
That day you're on your way home from work and you
It was
forgot.
like, if it had been like, you know, a movie made closer to like modern day, that would have been a "fuck me." Like, you know, he would have added a me on the end of it.
Yeah. But with this here, this is pretty much like you're on your way home from work and you remember, oh God, it's my wife's birthday.
Fuck.
All right, sorry.
Ripley and the Doctor were like the only characters I remember in this film. What's our names again?
Prisoners 1 through 15.
Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Imagine yourself on a beach and think of stamps. Wonderful, beautiful stamps.
I don't like the beach.
Stamps.com!
Relax. Feel comfortable knowing that you don't have to go to the post office. And who's got time for all that traffic, parking, and lugging around all those packages? It's a real
hassle.
That's why you need
Stamps.com!
One of the most popular time-saving tools for small businesses. Stamps.com eliminates trips to the post office and saves you money with discounts that you can't even get at the post office. I'm not gonna scream anymore.
I lied!
Stamps.com brings all the amazing services of the U.S. Post Office right to your computer. Feel at peace knowing whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller shipping out products, or even a warehouse sending thousands of packages a day. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Are you afraid I'm going to scream again?
Yes.
Well, just ease yourself to sleep knowing you can simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. That's a lot of any's.
Even Swaziland?
Once your mail is ready, just hand it to your mail carrier or drop it in a mailbox. It's that simple. Fear not, for I will not scream in a high-pitched voice anymore.
With Stamps.com, you get 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail.
You see, that was a slightly lower pitch scream.
Not to mention it's a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters.
I love you. I don't know why I said that.
Anyway!
Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving you time and money. It's no wonder over 700,000 small businesses already use Stamps.com. Listen closely now because I'm going to scream really loud. Your viewers can get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in nostalgia. That's Stamps.com. Enter nostalgia. Are you relaxed yet?
No.
Well, then we'll have to blow up your head. Go to Stamps.com and enter nostalgia for
that's
a
one way of
4-week
solving the
trial.
problem.
Unless you want your head to explode. Don't want your head to explode. Just go to Stamps.com. Stamps.com.
I never mail anything anymore, man. It's being really pushy with this.
Want to see us in the Chicagoland area? Well, Saturday, June 29th, we're going to be at Hollywood Palms for Walter Benaziac's cinematic opus, The Infinity Trinity. Doors open at 6, there will be a meet and greet beforehand, signing autographs, taking pictures, the screening starts at 7, and there'll be a Q&A to follow. You can get more information as well as seeing the trailer by checking out the link in the description. Also, don't forget to check us out at Planet FunkCon in Iowa, June 21st to the 23rd, and you can see me at Salt City Con in New York, July 6th to the 7th. Hopefully, we'll see you all there.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's already happened.
Yeah, it has. It was this year. Well. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So it looks like it's only Ripley and the prisoners who are left. Boy, this...
Hey, Chad. Come on in.
Sorry for intruding.
You ain't intruding, dude. Come on in. Have a seat. Have a seat.
I didn't want to ruin your Black Panther party.
Easy there, Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Here, let me scooch the camera out. Yeah, if you want to sit that bag on the floor, go ahead. And just like that, it's magic.
So we're watching Nostalgia Critic's Alien 3 review.
Is it on?
Hello.
No, did you turn it? Oh. Speaking of the mic again?
Hello.
Oh wait, I know it's wrong. Mother of Hubbard. Try it now.
Hello.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, we were discussing the Nostalgia Critic is doing a review of Alien 3, and do you know who this guy is on screen right now, Chad? Does he look familiar?
No, he doesn't.
Mindhunters.
Oh, for real?
Tench.
Damn, this is young ass Tench.
Yeah, this is 1992. This is David Fincher directed Alien 3. It was his first major film, and strangely enough, Holt McElhenney, the man who played Tench, was in it.
Sick.
I'm surprised he used anyone from Alien 3 because I'm pretty sure David Fincher wants to be as far away as he can be from Alien 3 because it was a eternal clusterfuck that pretty much made him...
Eternal clusterfuck.
Yeah, that made him not want to direct films anymore.
Oh, God.
And I understand why. Anyway, yeah, we're here at the end of it.
Cool.
So let's see what Doug has got to say about the last part.
This is going to be intense, given their last encounter. Or it's never mentioned.
You take charge. I'm not the officer type.
The group wants Dylan to be the leader, but he's not interested. So he suggests Ripley.
Hey, sister, what about you? You an officer. How about showing us a little leadership?
It's going to take Fincher 3 more years to figure out what he's doing. We need a real leader.
I haven't seen one exactly like this before.
Fincher had no control.
Oh, I hate moving differently.
The others were afraid of fire.
So they plan to trap it in the toxic waste disposal, displayed here like the entrance to a haunted roller coaster. But not everyone believes in Ripley,
it is.
Especially those who just a second ago believed in Ripley.
Why should we put our ass on the line for you?
Oh, maybe because literally 5 minutes ago you were suggesting that?
How about showing us a little leadership? Why should we put our ass on the line for you?
What's that, Mother? Yeah, she does look like one of our stuffed birds. People reaching for things in horror films always live, right?
Nope.
Oh no! There goes that bald guy whose name we didn't know! There goes that bald guy whose name we didn't know! There goes that bald guy whose name we didn't know! Oh, the humanity! The complete lack of humanity!
It's not wrong.
And yet, another kind of horror film cliche, if you cough even once, oh, bitch, you dead.
What is it?
Congratulations, it's an it.
What does it look like?
Like the penis of Jaws from those James Bond movies. Knowledge that there's one inside her causes her to start seeing it everywhere.
Oh, yeah, a pipe will kill me. That's the classic story, isn't it? Giant alien killed by metal pipe. Play a video game.
The real alien approaches, though, and they care so little about what happens to her, they don't even show her running away.
That's true.
Isn't that like half of what a horror film is, running away from the threat? She thinks because there's one inside, it won't hurt her, so she asks Dylan to kill her off. Wait, wouldn't it make more sense if she helped them first? Because That's her whole thing. She doesn't want others to die from it. Well, they do come to that realization right after this totally convincing fake-out. Yeah, everyone will be talking about the epic way Ripley goes by random dude with axe. Alien 3, even you're not that stupid.
I don't like losing a fight.
They of course agree to hunt it together by, again, trying to trap it in a giant room and pour hot lead on it. Special effects budget slash in 3, 2.
Yep.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now you might be wondering, how can this look so bad when the aliens from the other movies look so good? Well, I guess the idea was they were using blue screen keying so that the puppeteer could make it move more animal-like. If it was done today, a computer could blend the lines in a lot better and also color correct, but as is, it looks like someone starved the stop-motion Zool dogs and gave them vodka instead of water. You know, one of the reasons this climax isn't suspenseful is we have no idea where anything is. Granted, in the original, the people couldn't always make out where they were, but it was from their point of view, so that made it scary. Here, it's mostly from the alien's point of view. So if we don't know where he is, we really don't care. Is the alien close to being caught? Is he supposed to go down this way? The place is a maze, so any fear of where he is or isn't supposed to be is completely lost. You could literally show them anywhere and it wouldn't matter.
Is the alien behind you?
Yeah, where do I go?
Take a right.
Okay, now where?
Left.
Okay, now where?
Another left.
Okay, now where?
Right. Congratulations. You made it.
They finally lure him into position when the obviously doomed person stays behind to be a sacrifice. I'm of course talking about Dylan.
I'm gonna hold it here.
I guess technically the alien wouldn't chase Ripley, seeing how he has no interest in her, so Dylan uses himself as bait so the alien doesn't climb up. But that's not really how they explain it.
Oh shit, we got a deal. Remember, it dies first, then you. I'm not gonna move without you.
What sense does that make? Why doesn't he just say the alien will follow me out, so I have to stay here? I don't know. Fair enough. He gets eaten up as the lead is finally poured on the alien. But oh no, lead just makes him stronger. The sprinklers are dropped on him though, apparently blowing him to smithereens.
I need a vacation.
Thermal expansion.
But Wayland shows up, played also by Lance Hendrickson, who's apparently too rich to wear a hazmat suit.
The company sent me here to show your friendly face, to demonstrate how important you are to us.
They'll also kinda send me in the past in a parallel universe. Who knows anymore with these movies? Ripley knows they won't destroy the alien inside her, even though they say they can take it out, letting her live. So she decides to take matters into her own hands. Or rather, T2's hands, but everybody's made that joke. They shoot the guy controlling the rig and, I guess, ran out of bullets because they never try again, and Ripley launches herself into the orange abyss.
Hey there, you got a movie for me? Oh, worst mother ever!
Come on, you, get going.
Oh, come on, it's kind of funny. She was alive, now she's dead. It works on so many levels.
Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off.
Well, that's definitely what the audience did too. Alien 3 was not a critical or box office hit in the States. I think a lot of that is because it kind of does the opposite of what a sequel is supposed to do. Rather than add, it takes away. It takes away characters, it takes away number of monsters, it takes away ideas, and therefore, it takes away our interests.
Yeah.
Had the movie been more thought out and given more weight to the choices made, perhaps it could have worked. In fact, there's apparently an extended cut that did take its time more and tried to fix some of the problems. But it's still a messy production that resulted in a messy movie, whether it's the shorter cut or the longer cut. It's nowhere near the worst Alien movie, but it's nowhere near a good one either. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember it, so you don't have to.
Yeah. You know how they say in horror movies it's always the wind? And the wind has just been waiting there for it to actually be him? He's just like, it's never me. Never me. Yeah.
Apocalyptic, millenarian, Christian fundamentalist.
I'd have much preferred if they'd used the one prisoner going, "Fuck!" as the outro tone there.
Fuck.
Fuck.
You should see if you could rewind and find that and show that to Chad.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's just like one of the best deliveries of the word fuck. It's not that it's like good for the part, but it's just entertainingly hilarious.
Oh. So, let's see. Oh, come on.
The internet.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you kill off Tywin.
Has to warn everyone.
Yeah, that was it right
That was
there.
okay.
Yeah, Warden gets eaten.
Fuck! Ripley in the...
You're driving home and you look down at your cell phone and you see that your girlfriend has texted you 25 times and you're just like,
fuck!
It fits in most contexts.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fuck! I like the reverb on it too.
Yeah, the little echo in the background.
Well, it's like one of those you could, hear a dime drop.
Yeah.
But instead you hear,
fuck!
You're not lying. You're not lying. It almost reminds me of that one scene from the Planet of the Apes, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie, where Caesar says no. The whole theater went silent, and I could almost hear myself in my head going,
fuck!
Okay.
And he's the one lifting a chair,
Yeah, he's the one ready to fight. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, everyone else is just like pushed out, like, oh my God, what happened? Oh my gosh, Robert Downey Jr. Sorry, I had to pay reference to that. But good Lord, this movie was a special case of just shit on a stick. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible film.
Yeah. He shit on it for 35 minutes, so...
Yeah, he did.
That's saying something.
Profusely. I mean, with authority. With authorita.
I mean, to be fair, he usually goes through and summarizes the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he usually has about 35 minutes worth of shitting on stuff when he makes stuff.
Yeah.
He takes his time when he shits.
Hey, I wish most people would, because sometimes shit can get lost in translation.
Shit.
You should leave this pulled up and show Chad the intro to the video after the fact, too.
Yeah. The intro to the video is pretty much, it's
one of my more favorite intros he's done, honestly.
Cool.
But, God, dude, this movie it hurts me how bad it messed up the Alien mythos. Because you went from the Alien franchise being this jaw-dropping, groundbreaking sci-fi series to being all-around mediocrity.
Yeah.
That's eventually what it fell into. It went from genre-bending, boundary-pushing sci-fi A-grade stuff to shitty B movies that just add nothing to it. The only good thing that has come out, the only real good thing that I would consider that has been added to the Alien franchise is Alien Isolation. That's it. Prometheus was okay.
Prometheus is not too bad.
Prometheus was okay, but it wasn't an Alien movie.
Yeah.
Alien Covenant, again, shit on the entire mythos of the entire franchise and made it worse. And then
Covenant was worse than this movie, so
I agree. Covenant was really bad. And that's saying something, because I really like a lot of the people who are in it.
Because this movie, it did a lot of bad stuff, like kill a lot of characters you were invested in, and just kind of make some stupid decisions, but it didn't do what Covenant did, which is retroactively go back and tell a really, really fucking dumb origin story for how the aliens came into existence, which fucks the lore completely over.
Agreed.
Because the aliens were terrifying because they were
an
unknown. Yeah, like an unknown. Like, I guess. What do you call it?
An unknown
Can't think of the word.
Species.
An unknown species, an unknown entity. We don't know where they came from. We probably never will know where they came from.
I was trying to. There's a different word I was trying to think of still, but I still can't think of it. No.
But
like slivers.
I guess factor maybe or something like
magic.
that.
Yeah.
Like
I get what you're saying, Nick.
Well, it's like.
That's what I always thought of them as.
Like Bagul in Sinister.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love that movie so much, and one of the reasons that I did not bother watching the sequel, is because the sequel showed more of him, and it looked like it showed more about him in just the trailer than the first movie did in the entire movie. And him just being kind of unknown, and you just getting small glimpses of him and not really knowing a whole lot about him until like towards the end made him really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And the alien is creepy because you don't know where it came from, what it's capable of, what other things could be out there,
but
lurking behind the scenes.
But you see, the Aliens, the second one, did it right because it expanded the character Ripley, and not only that, it expanded the aliens as a character without ruining the mythos, because we were introduced to the Alien Queen, this huge, massive bitch that lays eggs and just can fuck up an entire colony by just her existing. That to me is a scary thought. And then, of course, you have this film, which took about 15 steps backwards and is just like, derp, we don't know what we're doing now. And now, Ridley Scott pretty much saying the origins of the alien actually come from a cyborg that was made by a human who wanted to kill off humanity. What?
You got me saying, fuck you, Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
What?
Like, you waste Michael Fassbender, a great actor. You waste Billy Crudup, Carmen Ejogo, Danny McBride.
But you know what? Overall, you waste...
And you waste Noomi Rapace, too.
My time.
And you waste the time of fans who have dedicated so much time into this.
Is this the movie where Danny McBride's out in that, like, space rover or whatever, and the thing's, like, attacking it and breaking the glass, and he's trying... That movie sucked.
Yeah.
That movie sucked.
Yeah, that was Covenant.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Actually, I will say this. The one thing that film did that I was okay with is that it brought John Denver's Country Roads back into prominence a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was during the scene where they were unscrambling this communication, and they ran it through this one frequency, and all of a sudden Danny McBride's like, holy shit, that's Country Roads. Like, country roads, take me home. We're going to get claimed for that. I know we will, because fuck you. Can't stop taking advantage of, dead artists' copyrights. But anyway, there was so much good that film had going for it. It built a great atmosphere of the planet that they were on, but they took so many missteps with telling the story, and it hurt. It hurt so bad.
Yeah, the story was boring, in all honesty.
Very, very boring. I mean, and the character, Michael Fassbender's characters that he played, where he played two versions of the same cyborg, or android, whichever one you want to say, you wasted him, and you wasted everyone's time. And this is where the downturn really started, because it was right here the studio started to panic and say, we don't know what we're doing!
Clearly.
Yeah, and just continued to fuck up after fuck up after fuck up after fuck up, and now here we are. We have 2 good Alien films, 3 bad ones, and 1 that's meh. That's congratulations. That's what you stuck us with. I don't count Alien versus Predator because that's a completely different offshoot of the entire franchise that I don't really acknowledge, because until you get it right, the very moment you get it right, then I might count it.
They did on the Super Nintendo.
They did on the... Well, yeah, dude. Well, video games, I consider... Okay, I consider Alien Covenant canon because of how good it is and how much of a tribute it is to the original. to the original Alien and
What?
follows it. Alien Isolation. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
We've been talking about Covenant for so much. I can't get that. I got to wash that out of my mouth. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You know how you can wash it out of your brain? That cool little toy you got sitting upstairs.
Oh, that's right.
And he's not talking about anything weird. Just saying.
No.
That you know of.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for tuning into this. This was the Nostalgia Critic reviewing Alien 3. If you want to see more from Doug Walker and the Nostalgia Critic and all the good stuff that's going on with his channel, check out Channel Awesome. Link to that is in the description down below. And if you want to check out more from us, a little subscribe button, a little bell that you can ring to stay notified. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you want to like the video, we'd appreciate it. And until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chad.
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.